time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss on any hour of our live sessions that are every day live at 6 p.m. IST. Hello, Manoj. Hi. So with this, I would like to begin our today's session. So like I told you, we will be talking about the speaking part 3, which is the follow-up question round. So what is meant by a follow-up question is that here the examiner is going to ask you some questions. Now, what questions will they ask you? That depends on whatever topic you have got in that cue card round. Hi, Akash. Okay, so we're talking about follow-up questions. So once the cue card is with you, you can expect any question that is related to that particular cue card. Now, these questions could be 1 in number, 2 in number, but not more than 2 or 3. So not a lot of questions are not possible because we have limited time in speaking module, right? Okay, the next part that comes on to the speaking part 3 is tips and tricks that we must remember. And as you know, guys, I always begin with things that you should not do, because I believe that if we know what not to do in the exam or what not to do to make an error, we will surely succeed in that particular task. So the don'ts of the speaking part 3 would be, the very first don't is don't speak or don't try to copy an opinion, which means don't try to have an opinion similar to the examiner. It is totally okay to have a completely opposite opinion to that of the examiner, right? Because we are not judging you on the basis of your opinion. The second part is don't give memorized answers. This is something I told you in the part 1 as well. Don't give any memorized answer. Even if you have practiced that particular cue card and that has come up in the exam, don't answer the same thing, or don't make it look at least like it's memorized, right? The next thing that we have is don't overdo it. What I mean by don't overdo it is sometimes we focus that much on our complex structures or that much on our vocabulary that we end up speaking something that is completely baseless or completely senseless. So use only those words on which you have true confidence that yes, you know the meaning and you know how to use them in sentences. So don't overdo any complex structures, don't overdo any vocabulary. Okay, and the last part, which is very basic, I've been saying it from the very first day, don't give one-line answers. So no one-line answers are accepted, and no short answers as well. Like in the first part, students, we always give short answers that are very crisp and to the point. But here we are not supposed to give short answers. Instead, we have to explain each and every point that we are speaking, right? So with this, once we know the don'ts, we move on to our do's. What should we do? It is very basic. What I want to say here is to explain your answer. Do give, or basically do use good vocab, basically to impress the examiner. Don't ask or say, don't say that you don't know the answer, because it's nothing that you cannot know. You can always cook up something. And the last thing is to ask him to repeat the question. This is something that I told you yesterday itself in the cue card as well, and as well as in the follow-up question round. If you don't understand what the examiner is saying, don't hesitate, don't feel this that your band scores will be affected. Always get the chance, be bold enough to ask him again and ask him if what does he mean. Should I answer this, or do you want me to answer this? Can you please beg me a pardon? Anything like that. You always have the choice to ask the question once again. So with this, once we know the do's and don'ts, we move to a sample question. So what is the sample question today? It is, how could art exhibitions attract more visitors? Or are art exhibitions popular in your country? Or Do you think people should have to pay visit art exhibition? So any of these questions can be a part of your follow-up question round when the cue card is actually your art exhibition. So, okay. So, okay, Veena Gandham has a question. She says, sorry if I'm interrupting you. Could you please tell me how to overcome nervousness? Okay, Veena. So I would suggest you one thing. Nervousness goes with time and when you speak up boldly. So you're nervous because you're hesitating. You think that you might end up saying something that is wrong. So think it like it's a puzzle or like it's a game. What most can you do? Speak something grammatically wrong. It's totally normal. We can say anything wrong. You are not going to kill anybody. So just make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. Just think that you cannot go anywhere wrong or more wrong than speaking a grammatically wrong sentence. Practice in the mirror. Practice. Get yourself a partner buddy, a buddy with whom you can practice speaking every day. So when you speak on different topics, when you speak flawlessly, you gain that confidence. And hi, Karan, since I know your name is Karan. Hello. So coming on to the format, and let me know, Veena, if this helps you and if you want to know something more than this. Okay. And when it comes to students, your format, when you are actually wanting or willing to frame an answer for the for the follow-up question round, the format should be direct answer, explain the reason, give an example if possible, and conclusion. So it's not like if somebody asks me, do you think that government is doing enough for tourism in the country? It doesn't mean I will say, yes, I think the government is doing enough, but it can take some more steps. No, it should always start with an introduction, something that is very general to say. Explain the reason, explain why you feel that the government is doing nothing or is doing a lot of things. Give an example if possible. Do you know any policies? Can you give an example from within your area or anywhere else? Conclude it. So overall, this is my view or this is what I stand with, right? So all of the 4 points will give you a beautiful and a very descriptive answer. Do not miss on any of these points when it comes to answering your part 3. The next is that we come on to is vocabulary. Since it's speaking, so I don't miss on this part. Vocabulary is very important when it comes to your speaking part, be it part 1, be it part 2, be it part 3. So the very first word is accessibility. What does accessibility means? To provide a way of entering or using something, to give an access to something. Computers have given the accessibility to the internet, right? Penchant. Remember, it's not sure, it's sure. Penchant. Something that is liked a lot. I have a penchant for books. Basically, I love books. I love reading books. I like books. Right? Exhibitions. I think you pretty much know this word. It is a collection of objects shown to the public. My city is organizing a movie exhibition, a book exhibition, an art exhibition like we are talking about. Influence. A power to affect somebody. When somebody gets affected by us, we say he is under our influence. He is under the influence of medicines, right? So he is getting affected by the medicines. Uncertain, when something is not sure, whether I'm joining my friends is uncertain. I don't know if I'll be available for today's meeting. I'm uncertain about the meeting. Let me know if all of these vocabulary is clear to you and if you can actually make up some sentences using these. So I'll help you out with some. If I come on to influence, let's make up a sentence and do let me if you can try one in the chat box. Influence, we can say the government is influencing the majority of the population, right? Or what else can we say? I am uncertain about it. Yes, Veena, perfect. I am uncertain about it. That means you're uncertain about something. Better if you could actually write something in that place. I am uncertain about if I can attend today's seminar. So that is one option, but your sentence is also grammatically correct. So well, good job, Veena. Okay. So once we are done with the vocabulary, our next part comes on to this, our answers, our sample answers. So if the examiner comes on to you and asks you, how could art exhibitions attract more visitors? Now, as I said, you are not supposed to begin directly with the answer and just give one or two liners. You should always explain the answer, always explain your point. Like here we are saying, art exhibition, future is uncertain. Deep, well tried. Yes, that sentence is also correct. Future is uncertain. Art exhibitions can attract more visitors by improving accessibility for people from all walks of life. This is an introduction that we have given to our question or to our answer also, you can say. They can invest in social media management and interact with the people to know more about their penchant for arts and cultures, right? So we have used our word penchant here and introduce workshops and events accordingly. This way, more visitors will be attracted to arts exhibition. So if you notice, we have began with one introduction. The second part of it was the explanation or was the reasoning. So why should they visit, or why should it have more visitors? So how could it have more visitors? And the last was conclusion, where you are giving an overall viewpoint. This way more visitors will be attracted to the art exhibition, right? So this is one way of answering your question. We move on to the next question. Next question is, are art exhibitions popular in your country? So this can also be one part of your question, students. When it comes to, are art exhibitions popular in your country? We can also certainly. So it's not always like you have to say yes. Instead of this yes, you can say certainly. That means surely. Certainly or yes, India is a diverse country and art exhibitions and galleries are very popular. These arts have cultural and religious influences. That means they are affected or they have an influence. They are under the influence of religious and cultural things. They have religious and religions and cultural effects in themselves that attract everyone. The rich culture of India is reflected in various art forms. So if you notice, an introduction is there with yes, certainly giving a direct answer, then explaining it, giving supporting statements, and then the last part is where you have given a conclusion to your answer and overall point of view, right? And one last thing for today's session, that we have another sample answer for today, which is, do you think people should have to pay to visit art exhibitions? Now, how can you answer this question? A sample answer is here, but can you try this answer? Let me know in the chat box if you can. However, I'll tell you a sample answer for this. This mainly depends upon who is organizing the art exhibitions. If such an event is organized by a multi-billion-dollar organization or a billionaire artist, even if people don't pay to visit, it would be adequate. On the other hand, if the art exhibition is set up by non-profit organizations, it will be easier for them to generate and raise funds. So what the question was, do you think people should have to pay to visit art exhibitions? We are saying no, it depends. We are not taking one stand. We are saying it depends. If it is organized by a multi-billionaire organization, we can say people don't have to pay to visit. Like, while if it is organized by a non-profit organization where we can actually donate it to some needful people, we can always pay to visit those exhibitions so that it generates some funds, so it can have some funds to help out the needy out there, right? I hope you are a bit clear with what all to answer in your speaking part 3. With this, let's move on and let's sum it up with few things that I've already told you in the session. Don't give one-liners. This is one thing that I've been repeating, but since we get a lot of time, we get nervous and we just end up speaking one-liners. So just remember that I told you not to give one-liners, right? Get yourself one vocabulary a day. right? So one new vocabulary, this is going to help you a lot. One idiom or one vocabulary a day is going to enhance your vocabulary a lot, right? So, and with this one thing, nervousness, like Veena said, we all get nervous when we have to speak in front of something. So nervousness is not the key. The confidence is what we need to work on. So, and confidence will come with practice, with regular practice. Get yourself a speaking buddy with whom you can interact every day so that you practice more, you get your desired marks. So with this, we come to an end of our session today. But I have a very exciting news to share with all of you guys. So that news is that we have finally launched our 30 days batch with free classes. Here you don't have to pay even a penny. You can enroll from our website, the link to which you will find in the description box. And the classes are starting today itself from 7 p.m. Don't miss on this. This is a golden opportunity. Go get and grab your chance so that you get the tips, tricks that our trainer Yesha Manek is going to share in these 30 days relating to all the 4 modules. So thank you so much for joining in. It was beautiful having you all here. Thank you so much. This is your trainer Kritika signing off for the day. Have a great day ahead.